WNCT is your local election headquarters, and tonight we have you covered when it comes to all the races that matter most to you.
We are following the governor's races here in North Carolina. We'll take a look at both frontrunners as they work to get final votes today. Plus, Nikki Haley is trying to steal a big night from former President Donald Trump in the GOP primary for president.
But we start tonight talking to you, the voters. Some voters here in Eastern North Carolina say this is a big election and they want to make sure they're a part of it. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock on your local election headquarters. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Angie Casada. We start tonight in Pitt County, where voters have been out and about all day.
As of 4 o'clock, nearly 9,000 people have cast their vote today in the county. Now, your side's Erin Jenkins spent the day talking with some of the voters. She joins us live outside of a polling site. So, Erin, how are things there?
Well, Ken, Angie, I've been at a couple of different polling sites across Pitt County today. Right now, we're at the Hooker Memorial Christian Church off of Greenville Boulevard, where voters are still pulling in to cast their vote tonight until 7:30. Now, despite lower voter turnout this year, the voters I spoke to say it's still important to cast your vote.
If you don't vote, you don't have a voice.
People who I spoke to who cast their ballot in Pitt County feel their vote matters.
I just feel like there's so much going on in the world, especially with like Palestine and everything that's really going on in America and all the countries in the world. I feel like it's really important to get out and vote, especially as young people, especially as black people, because our ancestors didn't have the right to vote, and I'm going to use my right.
I want to be a part of the process, you know. Seems like democracy's on the line right now, and we want to make sure the country upholds the laws.
One thing new for voters today, they had to show their ID.
It was easy. I'm ex-military, so I show my ID just about every place I go. Every time I come out to vote, I always give them my ID.
I personally didn't have a problem with it because I've been trying to keep up with my ID recently, but I did notice some people who weren't informed about it did have to walk out because they didn't have theirs.
As of 4 o'clock, 8,965 people voted in Pitt County on Super Tuesday. That's down from 12,793 from 2020's primary election at this same time period.
Competitiveness is always a driving factor in voter turnout. Right now, there's a substantial lead for Donald Trump over Nikki Haley on the Republican side. Mark Robinson holds a commanding lead on the governor's side in the Republican Party, and on the Democratic side, the same thing. Josh Stein has a commanding lead.
For one Pitt County voter, they say their vote is important regardless of who's running.
A lot of people think that voting doesn't do anything, but even if you think it doesn't, it can't hurt to try. It's always good to get your voice out there and make your opinion heard.
Now, it is not too late to make your voice heard in this election tonight. The polls will close at 7:30, but there is one important thing to note, that if you're in line by 7:30, regardless of the line, you will be allowed to vote. Live in Greenville, Erin Jenkins, 9 on your side.
Erin, thank you. And back here in the East, we are keeping an eye on elections in Craven County. The county's Board of Education could see some major changes as 4 of the 7 seats on the board are up for grabs. This year, the districts up for re-election and the primaries are all odd-numbered. You can go to WNCT.com to see the list of candidates running for your vote tonight. Election officials there in Craven County say these local elections are just as important as the ones across the nation.
Local elections are just as important, because you're living in that town. The things that's going on in that town, you have the control to vote the people in to take care of all your needs in that town.
Other Craven County elections we're keeping an eye on include for the New Bern Board of Aldermen and State House races for District 3 and District 13.